Boy, was this an episode. Writers, have you been watching horror movies lately? Because this is just a little out there. Yeah, the animation is good. It's nice to see the animators go above and beyond. Yes, the musical number was awesome. I'm a huge Danny Elfman fan. Yes, the moral fit just... What did I just watch? Okay, let's just skip ahead and dive into the meat of this. Spoiler warning. This episode introduces a new species of bat, the vampire fruit bat. These bats are distinctly different from normal fruit bats in that they suck the juices while the other bats just eat the fruit. Why that is and why they haven't shown up earlier is beyond me, but that's not important. Twilight proposes a solution to change the vampire bat's eating habits. Yeah, because that worked so well last time with the parasprites, and not to mention you could potentially kill off their families due to starvation. You know, I don't think this is thought out well enough. Anyways, Twilight's spell backfires in a sense, because of course it does, and we see Fluttershy undergo a slow transformation lifted straight out of the fly into some sort of fruit bat / pony hybrid. I hesitate to call this a bat pony or a thestral for the mythology buffs out there because, again, going back to the fly comparison, Fluttershy seems completely driven by the vampire bat's instinct. She doesn't recognize her friends, and at the end she has no memory of what has happened. This is the main reason why I don't think she was a legitimate thestral. She wasn't in control. And also, thestrals as vampire fruit bat / pony hybrids? That just sounds weird. One thing that particularly interests me is that Twilight said she transferred the desire of the fruit bats to feed on apples to Fluttershy instead of fusing them together. This raises some questions. Animalistic desire can cause physical changes, like a short-term evolution caused by different biological activity in the brain? Well, this isn't the first time something like this has happened in the series, see Spikezilla, so it's not entirely unbelievable. But I have to ask, within the equestrian universe, has this sort of hybridization happened before? Have other pony animal chimeras existed? If so, what kinds? And under what circumstances? I expect dozens of fanfics exploiting this juicy bit of info. The explanation behind how Fluttershy was transformed confuses me a little bit. The desire got transferred to Fluttershy because she was using one of her abilities, the stare, and Twilight was using one of hers, and it sort of rebounded onto Fluttershy. It's vaguely explained how this works, but I got a few theories. The first one is one of proximity. Fluttershy was the closest thing to the vampire bat's desires once they were removed, so maybe the desire had to be absorbed by something. I mean, the desire has to go somewhere. The second theory is one of a magical connection. It's not a stretch to believe that since all ponies carry some sort of magic in them, that Fluttershy's magic manifested in a stare ability, and using it taps into her inner magic. So does that mean when a pony uses one of their special talents, they are more vulnerable to magic around them? It's a thought. The third theory is that this was just an accident. This isn't the first time Twilight's cast a spell that's sure to work, but it comes with some unforeseen consequence. Maybe Twilight's not so great with magic as she thinks she is. Maybe her spells, much like medicine, have side effects if conditions aren't perfect, like magical abilities. You can't account for every scenario. Or maybe magic itself just has unpredictable results. I am personally thinking that theory 3 is most likely, but I could be wrong. When Fluttershy changed back to her normal self, we see spectral bats fly off screen. I have to ask, what were those? I can say for sure they are not vampire fruit bats themselves, as again, going back to Twilight's explanation, their desire was transferred to her, not something physical. This is not a fusion, it's more of a mutation. The best theory I can come up with is that these spectral bats were a magical manifestation of the vampire bat's desire to feed. But if that's the case, where did they go? Did they dematerialize off screen, or do they fly around and eventually become true vampire bats? Or do they find another host and bond onto them? Honestly, I don't know, it wasn't explained. So in the end, I liked this episode. It was cheerfully creepy and gave me a bit to think about in terms of what magic is and what it's capable of. Or maybe it's a kid show and I'm just taking this too seriously.